know what? You know what? You know what? One more time. One more time. One more time. Then we start. One more time, and then we start.
I spin in circles, I scream to the void. I'm born in oasis, my rage is employed. A storm in my chest, it burns and destroys. Dance with the chaos, spin till you fall. It burns and screeches the end of it all. Round and round until we crawl. This is the inferno, the polka brawl. Your lies are balloons, they pop in my face. I'll stop on the floor, leave no empty space. A carnival riot, no room for disgrace. Buttons clicking, hearts are ticking. Fists are flying, skies are splitting. Dance with the chaos, spin till you fall. A bird and screeches the end of it all. Round and round until we crawl. This is the inferno, the polka brawl. The tuba's a demon, the snare drum's a beast. The accordion of fury will never be safe. This is a battle, a musical face. The polka goes harder than hell's unleashed. Brawl
Okay. All right. How's everybody doing? That song's awesome, dude. All right. Oh my goodness. So, how's everybody doing? How you guys feeling? I feel like a pile of doo-doo. Do you remember? You remember? I don't know. Like we could like cut back in the VOD or something, but I remember like maybe it was during the second scrub or something. I'm like, man, I am gonna pay for this later. I'm gonna pay for this later, and here we are. I feel rough today. Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. Oh boy. What's up, YouTube? How you doing? How you feeling? I'll be good, man. I'll be all right. My face. Like, this has been a yeah. This has been a weird couple of days. Seems to be the motif for this month. What a roller coaster. But at least we're here, we're having fun. So, I was going to call this stream the Space and Rocket Review like we usually do, but let's be real. It's the Starship and Flight 10 review. I'll be honest with you guys, that's all I really want to talk about. A parting gift from Murdoch. Yeah, right. All right. Yeah, DV, do your thing. 2 stakeout streams plus launch coverage will do that to you. David, I mean, I did my own launch coverage on Sunday, too. I did 3 launch coverages, man. 3 launch coverages and 2 stakeouts. Well, sick. Man, when you say it like that, that doesn't sound too healthy, but it's fine. What about the partridge in a pear tree? Well, it's not.
Discovery, go
That
at
that
throttle
comes
up.
in December. That's later. Guys have 94-month resub. What is this again? What happened? I don't know, man. I don't know. Oh, this is a weird day. Just a weird day, dude. Anyway, Starship is orange, always has been. I've still seen nobody put forth a good explanation as to why that's happening. Um, or what that even was. I I don't I still can't figure it out. Like I've been trying not to look at Starship footage until I do here with you guys a day later. Deploys flaps at Mach 7. That was, dude, that was the coolest part for me. For me, that was awesome. Dude, how did that thing stay together? I still can't believe it. So, all right. So, if you guys haven't seen it, SpaceX, I'm gonna turn Starbase Live down just a little bit. So, SpaceX launched Starship Flight 10 yesterday, and we didn't get a booster catch. That was on purpose. We didn't get a booster catch. We did get one hell of a mission. There was also a Starlink mission this morning, but I'm not 100% sure that people care. Perhaps. Here, let's get the VOD up, and let's scrub through some footage. Elon tweets. Yeah, there were some Elon tweets. Don't play that. There were some Elon tweets. We'll check them out. One of the experimental metal tiles could have been made of iron, and once the tile filled, the oxidized iron was spread out by plasma. I don't think that's not really how the. Yeah, I don't think that works that way. All right, let's get to the good stuff. Let me just get some text up on the screen. Replay. Okay. Replay. Replay. Let's let's fix it. We gotta outline it. We gotta outline it with Black Bosnod. You gotta make the outline. Oh. Replay. Replay. There we go. All right. Bapki. All right, dudes. They said that they had some experimental metal tiles. Yeah, maybe. Now make it flashing like 90s camcorders? I don't. All right, hold on. That's the best I can do. That's the best I can do. Is that good enough? Faster? Faster? Okay. Is this live? I don't know, man. Hey, Everest, what's going on? Is it possible that they had actively cooled tiles? Yeah. You know what? Hold up. Can we do... Bruh. All right, maybe we need to like put some spaces. Now maybe it should go the other way because English language. we go. You know what else we can do? You know what else we can do? Go into properties here. Select the color. Let's get it. Let's give it some red. Oh. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Actively cooled tiles were cooled with Sunny D. Checkmate. Can it do the DVD thing? Oh God, no. Oh my God, no. That's fine. That's good. It's good the way it is. All right, all right. So I don't know if you guys knew. I don't know if you guys could tell. I don't know. I don't know. You might be able to tell that this is a replay. Okay. All right.
All right. We are through team.
All right. So this was yesterday. This is amazing. I just want to go through the whole thing. Let's just go through it. What is a replay? Replay is the French way of saying it. You know, it's pisson. It's French. You can tell it's a replay because of the way it is. I hope no one's drunk. Yeah, that would suck. All right, here we go.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, all flight controllers go for landing. Retro Fido, go. GNC, go for landing.
We lift.
1202. What?
Eagles pitching downrange.
No, all right.
Booster chamber pressure nominal.
Okay, so it launched. SpaceX has some good footage from behind the scenes there. Here, if you want to see another angle of that exact same thing, check this out. What the hell? Dude. Stop, I don't have a towel. Nice Def Leppard reference. I will be ya. I will be ya. I'll be ya. Pound out. Rocket. Pound. Yeah. Sing. Alright, anyway. Yeah, that's pretty neat. Why don't those cables melt? Because they're blue. You can see the staggered startup sequence. Let me see. Oh yeah, yes you can. Dude, that really is like, if you guys have been following the Kerbal build that I've been doing, the Prometheus rocket, we've been going through that, right? And somebody did suggest like turning some engines on, turning other engines on, and then sending it. It looks like that's exactly what they're doing. Not that we didn't know that, but it's just kind of cool to see it. Like that one's turning on. Wait for it. Now that one's turning on. I think they left the gas on, yeah. Bro, come on now. I think these are purge lines, like methane purge lines, I think. I'm not sure. I know that the umbilical for like spin starting these things is up in there. It's retracted by now. That's got to be a purge line, dude. Sequencing startup with a cal controller, totally doable. So which one was the one that zonked out? It was that one right there, E8. That one's the one that was being a little bit of a Stugatz, you understand? They are the Raptor Chill reclamation lines. Thank you, Matt. Somebody told me what those were at some point, dude, and yeah, I forgot. Either that or I have a migraine so bad that it is limiting my ability to critically think. The nozzle shake on ignition is wild to me, almost like RS-25's shuttle footage. Dude. See, Rockman, Cody, I don't know if you noticed this. Watch how close those two get together. I was just looking at the same thing. This guy's shaking. Look at that. Look at the tolerance here. Oh, that's not a lot. That's not a lot, dude. That's really close. That's, man, if those things hit each other, that's death. No, you're gonna have a really bad day. You reach the cooling jackets. That would be bad. Those were added after the B7 white hose incident. Yeah. Rubbin's racing. I don't think that's what we want. Dude. Oh, there is going to be 42 soon. Yeah. Oh, yeah. This slide needs an update because a rough idea of what we're aiming for with V3 and V4. V3 should be built and tested, flown by the end of this year. V4 is in 2027, probably closer to 150 meter height and 7,500 tons. Because, you know, right now what you have isn't good enough. How the heck do you get a video of that? Periscopes are how they do it, guys. That and the thermal expansion contraction is one heck of an engineering constraint. Dude, the booster team, as the kids say, the booster team is cooking. They're cooking. Oh, we should let them cook. Let them do. Okay, you just keep doing your thing, man. If you have a migraine, take care of yourself and call it now. Self-care isn't selfish. What if I wanted to stream more than I wanted to take care of myself? Am I still being selfish? Is that a paradox? Is that a paradoxical statement? Yes? Yes? No. Yes? No, I'm good, man. I'm good. It's going away. We're good. I took some ibuprofen before the stream. It'll be fine. He said that live stream talk was the technical update. Very sad. All right, anyway. Payload to orbit, V1 is about 15 tons. V2 is 35 tons. V3 is 100. V4. Holy shit. Those numbers are not near each other. Not selfish, just shellfish. I don't like seafood. Orson. Hey, thanks for the subs yesterday. I saw him, dude. The support of the stream's nuts, man.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
It's nuts, dude. You guys are way too nice to me. So, check this out. Let's get further into the flight. How do you go from 35 to 100? Raptor 3 does that, Bant. Bro. I'm getting some serious Haze Gray Art videos vibes from this. Anybody? Haze Gray Art on YouTube? He's the guy that does the renders of all the crazy concepts that like the US aerospace industry came up with in the 60s. That looks like one of his videos. Would V4 use the same pad as V3? I would guess yes, ship. That dude. I know it's real. I ain't trying to say anything like that. I know this is real. I know that's a thing that exists. I've seen the booster go into space with my own eyes twice. But dude, I have to pinch myself every time I look at it. You know, that thing has 33 freaking motors in it, and they're all working just fine. I mean, what that guy, the number 8 engine, that was, give it a little bit. That one is not happy, but also that's unbelievable, man. Does that mean the tower gets larger? It must, Malik, right? Yeah, it must. Would they have to increase the height of the tower for V4? I mean, maybe they don't, dude. It depends on where they end up putting the ship catch points, right? The ship catch points have to be somewhere near the methane dome on Starship. Unless you want to build some crazy reinforcement into the payload bay, right? The giant Methalox mock diamond makes your jaw drop every dude. That is one of the craziest things I think I've ever seen. What do you say? Like, what do you say? Look at this thing. Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I get it. I'm geeking the frick out. I understand, but also my brain is having trouble. Like, I know what those engines do. I know how they work. I could explain to you what's going on here. No problem. But on the other hand, my brain's just like, you know.
All right, we're a little over 40 seconds into flight. 33 out of
Booster and
33
ship,
Raptor
avionics,
engines.
power and telemetry nominal.
Getting good call outs, healthy systems on the booster.
Brain's
as it
going
starts to
full
pitch
monkey.
over the Gulf.
The fact that it's just such a clean, clear image. Yeah, I know. How far into the burn did number 8 stop? 93 seconds, Oki. I think the computer was like, no. Look at this. Oh, wait. Just a little bit. The vapor cone is going down the stack and interacting with the expanding methane plume. Right there. That is... All right. The cone is going and interact like, dude, and Oki, you correct me if I'm wrong here, or anybody. Am I right in that I'm seeing an expansion fan forming around the vapor cone, around that interaction right there? Do I see some a little added staminky going on right there? There's an expansion fan from the vapor cone hitting the plume. Planet shifter in. 2-month resub. Plumes, cones, methane. Papa John's. Wait, no. That's wild, man. Holy cow.
All All right, we're a little over 1 minute into flight, about to pass through max Q.
Max Q.
Come on.
All right, so we are through the period of maximum dynamic pressure, max stress on the vehicle as it continues to fly.
You just can't be wrong. That's right. That's right. They said an F-18 Vapor was peak. Dude, that one was pretty good. I don't know if it's got the shuttle beat. There's some really nice pictures out there of the shuttle going transonic, and it's pretty good.
Discovery,
But
go at throttle up.
that was up there. That was definitely up there with it, dude. I know this is like, you know, Starship isn't like side mounted to the booster or anything, but this thing gives me some real shuttle vibes, and the good shuttle vibes, not the bad ones. And I am freaking here for it, man.
Next major event is going to be hot.
Jazzbomb, I start my engineering degree next Thursday, and I want to say that you inspired me to do better in math when you told me that math is just a language and I need to learn and practice it more. Good. Good. It is. Was I wrong? I wouldn't steer you wrong, dude. I know people on the internet like doing that, but I'm not one of those people. I don't know. I missed the memo. You're supposed to lead people astray on the internet. I missed that. I missed that class. I probably cut it to go play video games, to be honest with you. But anyway. Skydrift, that's a 65-month resub. But anyway, Chaz, that's good, man. Good. That's awesome. Just keep doing it. If you just keep doing it, you'll get good at it. Look at me. Do I have any communications background? No. I just kept streaming, and I eventually got good at it, you know? Good. Professional streamer.
Down all but 3 of its Raptor engines.
Yeah, you're all
the
right.
clamps holding the 2 stages together will release.
Do they throttle the engines up? I'm going to go ahead and guess that if this thing has a good 1.3, 1.4 thrust to weight off the pad, that Raptor engines are most likely throttled. We know that they can do that. I would say they would throttle back for max Q. 1.4 off the pad, you're going to break the thing. Your dynamic pressure will go above like 5 PSI. And that's a lot of pressure. Maybe not. Maybe it's more than 5. I don't know. I'm guesstimating. But yes, I bet you they throttle them back. Good. Laser. Good. Laser. Anyway. They added a throttle indicator. It's a ring around the engine diagram. I thought that's the fuel left over.
And the Starship second stage ignites its engines. The ship then separates from the Super Heavy booster and heads to space. At the same time, the 3 engines still firing on Super Heavy will flip the booster around. 10 more engines will ignite for the boost back burn.
I just can't believe that thing is staying together. Like, that's what just gets me about Starship. It's just... Are the sub-milestone notifications turned off? I had them off because I forgot that I shut them off yesterday, and I turned them back on. They should be going through now. 1000, I saw your 11-month resub. Finally able to watch some EJ streams after 3 weeks. Had a nice vacation. How is the car doing? The car. Yeah, it's doing okay. 1000, my motherboard exploded on my streaming, on the encoding rig. So chat bought me another computer. So I haven't really worked on the car too much, but I did redo my entire streaming setup, and now I have a behind the scenes camera that you guys can see. We now got a 5 monitor setup, which is pretty cool. And then we have that as well.
Oh, this is space. I'm in space.
Okay, gifted a sub to Lucas. It looks fine to me. You can see EA go out in the plume. Yeah. Yeah, Archie, that sounds right. Why does it look like it's flying towards land? Because you're seeing what's behind the launch site there. Yeah, so you guys can see that, right? So yeah, 1000. So that computer is called Project Canard because, yeah, if you can see it, it's got my logo etched into it on the glass, and the logo is on the heatsink too, because overkill is underrated. That thing has a 9950 X3D in it, 96 gigs of RAM, and an RTX 5080. I can run the SSTO pad, the small SSTO pad in Kerbal. I can run it in real time, dude. Real time. Oh, I have stuff planned. Don't worry. I have stuff planned. It's still ridiculous to me. Almost as good as Kevin's setup. Yeah, Kevin's setup made me feel really bad about my new setup. So, I haven't been doing that much work on the car, but I think I still have OBS on out there, so I have the trunk and everything all mocked up and ready to go. We just have to start marking where we need to drill holes to weld all the back of that together. Kevin has 12. He has 12 monitors, guys. Yeah, he has like, I think it was 2 rows of 5 and 2 television screens mounted on the wall behind his battle station. He quite actually has a production studio. How much progress did you make on the truck? Truck doesn't leak anymore. Bluefus runs and drives. Everything runs and drives. Yeah. I see the dually swap and I don't hate it. That, you're not the first one to say that. Anyway. Love that model of the Saturn V. Yeah, I got my Lego Saturn V up there. Yeah. No Good God games. Yeah. Okay, random question, but why is the shuttle next to the A in your logo instead of just being the A? I don't know. That's what I liked. I thought that was good.
Putting the first stage on the path for splashdown in the Gulf.
Yeah, Daytown, that was
As we
actually
mentioned
pretty sweet.
earlier, the hot stage will be jettisoned for this flight, and that should occur just
Yeah,
after
Trey,
the
that-
boost back burn.
That testing was
So we're
beast,
about to
dude.
shut down the first stage and perform hot staging. So let's just watch and listen.
Here we go. Getting up to hot staging. So once again, this is the replay from yesterday. Starship needs to do a little bit of a roll maneuver there. So Starship gets the line flaperons down. Because it flies kind of sideways into space. The orange rocket! Yeah, no, it's good. Shuttle is goated until this thing comes back and
Seeing
lands.
the engine start to throttle down.
And I'm saying that as a shuttle fanatic.
Miko. Ship ignition. Boost back burn startup. Stage separation.
You've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me, dude.
Stage separation confirmed. We've got 6 engines running on ship. Booster is doing its boost back burn, continuing now towards its splashdown site in the Gulf.
Ship
We are
Raptor
seeing
chamber
all 6
pressure is
Raptors
nominal.
lit up on ship.
Damage the skirt? No, I don't think so.
You heard them report ship chamber pressures nominal, so that chamber pressure, just that expected thrust level in those Raptor engines on the ship. 3 vacuum optimized,
Ship
3 sea
avionics,
level,
power
all
and telemetry
looking
nominal.
good.
That Highway 4. Let me back
Burn
up.
startup. Stage
Expected thrust level in those Raptor engines on the ship. The first
We start with engines from the middle tent.
So that's Port of Brownsville right there. You can see it. That line right there is Port of Brownsville. How many more V2 launches do we anticipate? There's just one. There's only enough hardware for one more V2 launch, Admiral. There's only ship 38 and what is it, guys? 15 or 16? No, 15-2. Isn't the roll before stage separation and because of the new deterministic flip before they added that the ship flew all the way to orbit sideways? Yeah, Daytal, it oriented like that for staging. That's correct. Yeah, I would say that is because of the deterministic flip. Yes, they're optimizing the trajectory over time. Booster 17 will likely be cut up. Well, Booster 12 has finished its display work. Yep. Are we going to have like a 3 to 4 month pause between V2 and V3? Most likely to, Saman, yeah. I would say that the next flight is going to be sooner rather than later. Rockman, you think it's Booster 17. You think they're going to keep 15 around. Okay. Do you think NASA's going to be mildly annoyed that SpaceX is going to have to take a couple months break to get Block 3 online? No? I think NASA has all the time in the world. You know, maybe if NASA built more rockets, then, you know, maybe that would make SpaceX go faster. It's going to be sad to see pad A1/scrap go away. Yeah, it's all right. Will it be 15-2 or 17? I would fly 17 if it was up to me, guys. It was 3:30 before I went to bed, so I watched. So you watched Thunderfoot to kill your excitement so you could go to sleep? Did it work? Have you seen hardware for an upgraded Pad 1 mount? No. Yes, actually. Oh. I'm not sure, but I swear the ship actually looked bent slightly before splashdown. Yeah.
Ring.
Yeah, we did see one of those engines in the middle ring shut down during the initial ascent. Oh, looks like we have hot stage jettison. You can see it floating away there to the left of the booster. Yeah, we did see one of those middle engines shut down during the ascent. Again, we are resilient to engine out on Super
Starship
Heavy.
flying
That's why we're
nominal
able to get
trajectory.
through our ascent. Starship flying on the expected path. There's still a chance that engine could be back in the mix for the very start of the landing burn, so we'll see if we light up all 13.
17 doesn't even have grid fins. I think they will fly 15-2. If they wanted to fly 17, they would have already installed all the necessary hardware. Yeah, it's probably better to just fly 15.
But we've even done a landing burn at the tower with an engine out.
Hey,
so
Roman.
very resilient.
What goals do you think we should expect from Flight 11? Roman, honestly, I would just do the same exact thing. I would do the same exact thing. And basically use these to validate your mission criteria for when you go to test Block 3. I wouldn't introduce much new things for this one. Will version 3 jettison the hot staging ring? No. Version 3 has an integrated hot staging ring.
See how it does on its way down to the Gulf, though. All right, so we got a couple of minutes. That landing burn start should be just about 40 seconds away. That's always rad.
Hard to say, ship watching.
You can see the boost plume itself in the background.
I think they may go orbital on the next one. They will not catch it, though. Yeah, it would be cool to see one of these things come down, like in the Gulf of Mexico or something. Or Mexida. So, fellas, one more thing that I did notice. I was trying my best to not look at this footage. I noticed something. Maybe some of you guys noticed it too. A grid fin stuck. See? One of the grid fins got stuck. Are you on Flame Trench this Friday? Yes, I'll be there. Do you think it's possible the reduced aft flap area saved the ship from snapping in half? And do you think the longer Block 3 would have snapped? No, Caleb. This shit, the fins still, they didn't lose that much surface area, dude. To test 3 fins working? Maybe. Well, I thought that Super Heavy was getting battered around, but it looks like one of the grid fins gets stuck and the thing goes like this. Is it on purpose? I don't know. I don't know if that's supposed to do that or not. I mean, SpaceX said they were really beating the snot out of this stuff. Yeah, Roman, I think so. Yeah. There you go. For me, Flight 11, booster catch to scrap for more data, true orbit, live Starlink deploy, re-enter over Starbase and
Discovery,
splash down
going
off the
throttle up.
coast to get the ship back. I agree. Yeah, dude, yeah. Did you see that 39-2 got stacked in the Megabay? 39-1. No, I have not. So the engine outburn seemed to work, and that's the end of that. Super Heavy did its engine outburn, and it was great. Now we get to the good part. So they tested their Pez dispenser deployment device for future V3 Starlinks. Yeah, I know, Coltec, right? Yeah, why not, right? That makes sense. I'm still flabbergasted by the way they just chucked the ship directly into 90-degree angle of attack and then fully deployed the fins. Admiral, I can't... That was the craziest part for me, dude. The fact that that thing made it through that and didn't rip itself to shreds is unreal. I thought it got stuck. No good. I thought it got stuck. I was like, well, that's broken. I don't know what you're going to do then. What happens if a grid fin got stuck when trying to catch it? Well, it's very clear that it's just fine. It's not a big deal. Yeah, some of the dumb links did hit the door. That's right. Yeet. Wildest freaking thing, man. 15 will fly, 17 gets scrapped. Yeah, 15 will fly, 11 will 17 get scrapped. I think you're right. There's also a motorcycle chain. That, guys, look, I know that it's probably like some super space shit. That's a chain to a motorcycle. That is straight up motorcycle chain that's being used for their payload deployer. All right. Booster 12 was the first catch. That was Flight 5, Hokey. Yep. It's like they accidentally clicked radial out on the nav ball, but it was induced, Archie, which is crazy to me. Could be a timing chain, too. But it looks like a motorcycle chain drive to me. I know. I was there. Do you think they will make a shuttle-like payload bay door to launch bigger satellites? Eventually, Ethan, I do. Yes, absolutely. It's a freaking motorcycle chain. Hey, use what works. Maybe splash down a super heavy and try to catch the ship with the pad. If that goes wrong, well, you have to scrap that pad. So yeah, let you dream. Hey, I'm not gonna say no. Excuse me, it's a space motorcycle chain now. So yeah, of course, it's automatically cooler. Dude, just go up. How many satellites do you think they can stack in that bay? Oh, I wouldn't. I mean, probably 30. 2 stacks of 15 would be my guess. Stated number is 60. Okay, so I was half right. Lovely. They can fit 60 V3 minis in there. Oh, I know. Like, it's once again, we know that past ships. We know that past ships have had this thing before, but to see it in action, man. Yeah, yeah, that's right. It's V3s. They're not V2 minis. That's right. I misspoke. 60 V3s. Okay. Okay. Do we know what material that chain is made out of? Terrence, it's probably steel if I had to guess. Damn, that's cool. With room to spare, most likely. I mean, Hokey, we're right here is where you're starting to see the taper for the nose cone. So there is a significant amount of space between where this camera is and where the header tanks are up there, dude. Right? Am I looking at this correct? Like that line, this line is going to go up, it's going to go over, and then it's going to go up again. Or no. No, it's not. It'll feed from the side of the tank because pickups. There's a lot of space in there. Low taper nose cone. So the Pez dispenser borrowed parts off of a Jonas. Yes. Have you seen one of the first dumplings hitting the ship get yeeted out? Yes. We got to see that during the day, man. I want to see that door close. I was talking to you guys when it closed. Darn it. They didn't show it. Will ship 38 static first or the next booster? I'd do the booster, Outdoorsman. The only thing I'm sad about is the lack of dumbling camera footage. Yeah. The dark view is the door closing from the outside. Yeah, they did show it, but it was an external view. Oh, okay. That's what we're looking at right here, huh? Yeah, so that means that light's going to go away in a second. Dude. Mother trucker. I totally missed that on the first time. Looks like the tiles are nowhere near what SpaceX needs for reusability. Yeah, maybe if they had more reentries, they'd be better. Ship 37 tiles look perfect, but they still went white on the nose cone where plasma hit at 90 degrees. Hi, Penta. Wondering if the rear flaps will also get that rear taper like the fore flaps. Maybe. Now to the good stuff. Did you see Scott's video about the flight? No, I haven't watched anything on purpose. Looks like Scott agreed with you, vent ice clogging and exploding. So I went and asked. I'll admit, I went and asked. I was told that that was not debris hitting the vehicle. It was a quote from my one of my sources, right? And I don't like citing sources. I don't usually do this, but I was just genuinely unsure what happened over there. That was a quote unquote hard lesson learned. That's what I was told. Yeah, that's what I was told, which means something on the ship broke. That's what I was told. It was a hard lesson learned. So that means something didn't work how they thought it was going to work and it popped, but they know what it was and that won't happen again. EJ, Starship is a great vehicle, but is it really more exciting than an F-150? Bet Maze, why don't we just put an F-150 in Starship's payload bay? We could put like 8 of them in there and then just deploy them into space because that's something you say when you play stupid games and survives. Yeah, right. What about a Ford Ranger? Depends on the year. Do you think it was a clogged purge line? Whatever is over there stopped working correctly. Now I've seen people say that that's basically where the purge lines are, and yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and guess that it's. If I had to put my hat into the ring based off of what I was told, it's probably a solid oxygen, probably built up on it and pressurized the line. Yeah, it was probably solid oxygen accumulation. If I had to guess, that's a guess. I am speculating. I have no idea. It is a hard lesson learned, which means they understand what happened, but it won't happen again. Do you know what happened to the rear flap before the anomaly on the skirt? Possibly a similar issue. Hokey, I don't know, man. The rear flaps are a little bit weirder because somebody was telling me, and this was chat, that they took tiles off the bottom. But I saw pictures of the ship right before it launched. I went digging, and there's no tiles coming off the bottom. So that tells me that that's a plasma flow thing. I mean, the plasma is basically telling you where it wants to go here. A swept rear edge on the back of Starship would probably fix this problem if I had to put my hat into the ring and guess. You probably would taper the back of the wing. I think that's what you were saying. Like the damage on the flap before the reentry even started. I think that was an experiment that was on the forward side of the wing that got shaken to bits, like those tiles right there. No, I know. It's on the back of it. I know what you're talking about. Hey, Flagon. Something else popped during the Starlink Raptor test and damaged the starboard flap. Is the V3 Starship bigger or the same? Here, hold up. Boop. It's just a smidge bigger. Just a smidge. Well, the whole stack is a smidge taller. It's about the same size, Runson. From your source, what was the white and orange color? You don't know yet. I did not ask that question, Purple Dragon. No one is talking about that. It's like, so it's just me and the rest of the press corps and the rest of the nerds that like this kind of thing. We're all just kind of searching for what's going on. I've never seen a thermal protection system do that, ever. I've never seen a TPS turn orange. Not even a blader. I've never seen that before. I have no idea what the hell happened. Why is the front white? Why is the bottom orange? I don't know. We'll get more into that in a second. Let's watch it, dude. I don't even know. How does that even happen? I can't figure it out. Like, well, no, like, don't get me wrong. We could probably sit here and theorize for sure. But that's just, I was not expecting that. What questions did you ask? Basically that, and that's it. I don't do that, guys, with sources. I like figuring it out with you all and seeing how close we are. I usually don't ask. Could it be hot staging related? The thermal protection system turning orange, Kai Fox? No, I don't think so. Could you please remind me, are the Starship fin actuators hydraulic or electric? Electric. They were hydraulic a long time ago, and then they were electric. I think only the electric ones have flown. Ship 37 was just wearing a Delta 4 costume. That is the most plausible explanation for what happened, Rares. That's as good an explanation as I've been able to find. What color does Tough Rock glow when vaporized? Gray. Ish? Gray-ish? No. I mean, I don't know. I've never seen Tough Rock get heated. Yeah, Contra, I don't know. No, I mean the potential missing tiles. Oh. I don't know, maybe. The forward flaps performed excellent, though. Wasn't the landing burn fuel in the nose could it be flash freezing of the surface air of the white nose? If no, no, the thermal transfer doesn't work like that. Even when you can convect. Whoops. Yeah, Ari, I think you might be right. Hey, Strange. Dude, that it must have been some type of transpiration cooling or a metal tile ablated off. Do you think that hot staging heating could have contributed to the deformations of one of the aft flaps? I don't think so. We didn't see that happen on the last one, Andrew. Yeah, Riley, that's kind of the prevailing theory that the metal tiles caused the whole baby. Did the shuttle have discoloration on the nose when it re-entered? Yes, Hobby. Yeah, absolutely. The silica-based tiles, they glow like red orange, and they scuff gray almost. Like the tiles turn gray when they've been through heat cycles. That's why towards the end of the space program, if you look at the shuttle, you could see which tiles have been scorched by plasma, right? As for theory, it was orange. Was it orange before the landing burn? Yes, it was, Flykin. Yeah, Blue. That's got to be it. It's got to be one of the metallic tiles ablating. Do you think it was a reflection of the buoy? No. Isn't the tiles white behind the black paint? Um, the tiles are fibrous composite with cilia backing blankets. That's why you see the cilia backing blanket right there. Brother, hold up. What is one freaking tile gonna cause that much deformation? Like that much scorching? Oh, okay. You got a thing about tough rock here. Hold on. So this is one of Jack's pictures. Dude, there's no way that one metallic tile caused all that nonsense. There's no way. Possible. Think about how little gold gets used when things get gold plated and it's solid gold. And it looks like it's solid gold. Okay, now I want to know the thickness of that metal tile. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay, there were a bunch of metal tiles. That's what it was, dude. I'm gonna say pretty conclusively. Whoever made this picture, that's absolutely right. That still doesn't explain whatever happened up here. But likely about the same size as a normal tile. Well, if you had a bunch of them, yeah. They're just testing Martian camo. If we ever find out what the orange junk is, they seem to be metal tiles. Hokey, that's my guess. My guess is the transpiration cooling was up at the front. The reason why is because, well, all right, let's go back and look, dude. Remember how we said with the payload bay that the nose cone taper, right, starts like right around here. You already have methane up there. See what I mean? There's already methane up there. There could be a tap-off line using residual ullage pressure to transpiration cool that thing. Starship hit a hidden spray paint booth so it could have its star rating dropped. It hit the paint spray. Yeah.
Oh, this is space. I'm in space.
Hokey gifted a sub to Orson. Right on. The right aft flap was damaged. I don't know, guys. The right aft flap, there's not enough footage to say one way or the other, dudes. Yeah, I don't know. The fact that we can see ablation happening in real time is just... It's fascinating, dude. That's the port flap from the boom. Okay. Flow vis? I don't know if they do flow vis over the tiles, dude, but I think flow vis would get burned off, Derek, to be honest with you. See all these sparks, guys? So this is an aft flap, but see all the sparks? That's stuff ablating away. That's stuff getting burned off. with a reusable thermal protection system, you'd want to see this. That's what you'd want to see. You just want to see the plasma flow. You do not want sparks. Sparks are, sparks mean that something is burning off. Forward flaps seem to fare very well, though.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Stupid question. It's real hot. Yeah, why isn't the metal on the flaps glowing red where it's being torn apart? It is? What? Like, what is that? Is that not glowing enough for you? If we saw the front side of this, like if we could get a camera on the other side of the wing somehow looking up, you'd see a very different picture, dude. This is basically just has to do with what's called the thermal flux of stainless steel. It's just the heat is concentrated in one area. It's like if you put a torch on a piece of metal and just held it there, it's not going to light up the whole piece of metal, dude. Misread the question. You know, you pissed me off yesterday, and now you pissed me off again today, so thanks. Appreciate that. Two for two. Good job.
So as
It makes its way back to Earth. So when we hear entry max heating and entry max Q, that will mean the ship has made it through the maximum heating.
How we doing today? Oh, I told you, C-Kraken, the other day that I'd pay for it. I'd pay for doing all those streams covering all that Starship stuff, but it was worth it. But I'm paying for it now.
And aerodynamic loads it will experience as it returns. So if it makes it through those, we could say we're doing pretty well.
I will say I'm happy re-entry cleaned off.
To be honest, I find most crazy the full flap deployment stress test. That it somehow survived and landed on target. All right, that's the part that I couldn't believe either. So what they need to do is fly two Starships in formation. Oh yeah, no, I mean I'm not going to say no to that. Dude, that's absolutely insane. Do we know if there was any air assets out there to get footage
All right,
of
so
the
about
ship landing?
55.
There were ships out there, Dino. Yes.
5.5 minutes in, you can see the sun is up. Again, we intentionally designed.
Question really might be, what transpiration fluid did they use? Methane. If they were going to use anything, use the fuel. I wouldn't use oxidizer for that. Oxidizer is terrible at absorbing heat. Liquid oxygen is terrible at absorbing heat. Methane is really good at it because it's mostly hydrogen. Hydrogen is very thermally conductive.
And these flights to lift off in the evening here so we get these daylight views so we can get as good a video as possible on the ship, assuming we make it all the way down. We've got at least one buoy powered by Starlink that's out there in the landing zone in the Indian Ocean, hopefully giving us a view again. If you see any live views, not from the ship itself, that means we nailed our landing target.
Wondering if they could move the aft flaps leeward like the front flaps. Yeah, it's possible.
Ship is past peak heating.
All right.
Let's
A little
get
under
to the
4
good
minutes
stuff.
from now. Right now, we've got kind of a lot of forward momentum, a lot of forward velocity.
Right, Kai
And
Fox?
then
For
eventually
sure.
by the time we hit
Flap load
subsonic.
demo.
All right, here we go. So this is what we've been talking about, where we are going to essentially try to fully deploy those aft flaps and really stress them
I think
out.
they'll
So
deploy
again,
new Starlink sats,
This
yeah.
is meant to test the extremes for the vehicle.
Dude, this part. Oh, man.
All right.
You've got to be kidding me.
See those flaps swinging out?
How did that thing not rip itself to shreds? I don't know. Did you see RGV's pics of the launch that I sent you? No, I haven't seen them yet.
Again, we are putting ship through the ringer on this flight in.
That was 100% them trying to destroy it. Dude, Rockman, I was telling Chad at the time that if you tried to do that type of pitch modulation with a shuttle at this phase during reentry, it would destroy it. There would be no shuttle left.
Mount. So again, this is meant
There
to
would be
test
nothing.
the extremes for the
There'd
vehicle.
be nothing. You'd never find a piece of it. How big are the reentry corridors? I'd have to look at the Notmars to see the corridor. They're pretty big.
All right. See those flaps swinging out? Again, we are putting ship through the ringer on this flight in.
Block 3 is just a tiny bit bigger, Bargon.
It's like we're still maintaining control.
So, see right here, there's that oxidization, that orange color. You could see it right on the rim right there.
All right, flaps earning their paycheck today, getting through kind of that max stress.
I agree, Grav. That would have ruined a lot of different vehicles.
Things looking good so far. We're about 2 minutes out now from Starship becoming transonic.
One cool thing to note as we get some of those views showing kind of the whole length of the ship, one of the changes we made after Flight 6 was to change the tile line a little bit. So we had kind of scaled back the number of tiles significantly, as when we go to catch these ships, you don't want to, I think as Elon said, you don't want to shuck the ship as you catch it and knock all those tiles off. So we knew we were going to have to kind of peel back that layer a little bit. And the first time we did it was on Flight 6, and we saw kind of wrinkling and dimples almost in the ship as we were creating these hot spots in the uneven parts of the heat shield. And so to kind of address that,
Would the reentry be noticeably more intense if the ship was coming down from a true orbit? Andrew, I think I've had a theory for a long time that these reentry trajectories that SpaceX is taking, the suborbital reentry trajectory, is already a steep reentry. This is real bad. Usually, like with an orbital reentry, it doesn't matter if it's a capsule, shuttle, whatever. You never really go full suborbital, right? You don't. Usually you just deorbit a little bit and get the lowest point in your orbit low enough to where you're going to enter the atmosphere as shallow as possible. That minimizes G loads, and it does increase your total period of heating, so your heat shield stays hot for a longer period of time. But your peak heating is lower. Judging by what I saw from how quickly this thing went from peak heating to max Q during reentry, this steep trajectory, if anything, is like, I'm not going to say it's testing coming back from the moon, because your total impulse of heat will be a lot higher coming back from the moon because you're falling from further away. But yeah, these are pretty nasty reentry trajectories by themselves. A Starship coming back from orbit will not experience this kind of torture, so to speak. I know that seems weird, right? But yeah, I mean, that's just my theory. I'm pretty sure that's right, but coming back from Mars or the moon, yeah, that's probably worse. But this is a good way to get good data on beating the snot out of the heat shield. If you can survive this, it'll come back from Leo, no problem. I'm not familiar with stainless. Is the discoloration okay for reuse? The tempering.
smooth it out. That's why you've got kind
I'd
of
be
that
doing
nice
something
smoothed
about
out
that.
black line now on the ship. And
Stainless steel likes to warp. It likes to crinkle up with a lot of heat put into it. So,
just looking at it, we can see.
what about Mars entry? Mars entry from trans-Earth injection would be very similar to this, guys. It would be similar to this.
Kind of a little bit of hot spot, a little bit of warping almost. Near the payload door, you can see a little bit of colored patina.
I haven't seen
up
anything like
above
that,
it,
Kai Fox.
but we don't see those kind of deep, almost.
Wondering what your thoughts are on an
they almost
orbital
look like
Flight 11.
gouges,
I think
on
they
that, so it
will,
looks like that's-
just because, you know, the more chat convinced me, dude. I said that Flight 11 is probably just going to be a copy of this, but the more and more I think about it, the more on orbit would be pretty cool. Jonathan McDowell, that orbital documentation guy. Yeah, okay. Talked about the trajectory differences here. It's only short of orbital by about 60 meters a second. The relight on orbit was only a 24 meters a second burn. This is pretty much an orbital speed re-entry already, but it's way steeper, Graph Shark, so it's going to get a lot hotter, a lot faster.
That's been pretty successful. So
your peak heating point is
we
going to
are
be
less
way
than a minute away from
because of the steeper re-entry trajectory. Your period of heating is shorter, but your peak heating goes higher. The peak heating that you get from this type of suborbital is going to be a little bit higher than what you'd get coming back from Leo. And I entirely think that that's on purpose. It's good stress testing. Yeah, exactly. So here's the thing, guys. You really want to learn about the correlation of entry trajectories. Okay, like there's really two types. Like, let's say there's two data points here for types of suborbital reentry trajectories. Okay, on one you have over here. This is an ICBM. This thing goes straight down. You go straight down through the atmosphere, and you hit your target and blows up. The reason why you go straight down is because you don't want anybody intercepting it. It's going to hit the ground going like 10,000 miles an hour. It's going to explode, and you're going to open up some canned heat. With a reentry trajectory like an ICBM that's essentially going straight down, your period of heating is shorter. So your the reentry period is not very long. But the shorter your entry period is, the higher your peak heating will be. So, short period of heating, very, very high peak temperature. Okay. Now over here, on this hand over here, you have something like the space shuttle or a capsule. First of all, the G-forces involved with this would kill someone instantly. So you want to keep G-forces down here. So this one is very, very shallow. Okay, it's a very shallow re-entry trajectory. Essentially, you try to spend as much time up there as you possibly can to slow down, because the higher you can stay when you slow down will create higher peak heating, but it will create a longer period of heating, but your peak heating will be lower. So over here, you have you spend more time in the oven, so to speak, right? But your overall heating is lower. So on one hand, you have flash frying something, like flash frying a turkey. And on the other hand, you have slow cooking. Okay, so this is like barbecue over here. So you have flash frying stuff and barbecuing stuff, okay? If we put this entry trajectory for Starship on this scale, it's somewhere right here, okay? With ICBM over here and Space Shuttle over here, okay? It's somewhere in here. So with this type of entry, it's very steep. So you have a shorter period of heating, but you have a higher peak heating, okay? Now I'm hungry. Yeah, of course. So long story short, this trajectory really pretty much aligns with what SpaceX was saying, what Dan Hewitt was saying, the commentator on this cast. He's saying they're beating the snot out of Starship. I've said from the beginning that that's what they've been doing. They've been doing that on purpose. They're purposely putting these things through the ringer. One, because they need good entry data on Mars, right? You get pretty good entry data from doing a trajectory like this. Two, Starship needs to be fully reusable, so you want to figure out what the heat shield needs, and then you have to have a certain factor of safety in there for sure, right? And two, this thing's got to come back, and three, this thing's got to come back from the moon. So that thermal protection system has to be perfect, man. What color of the plasma be different on Mars? What color would the plasma be on Mars because of the CO2? I don't know. Blue?
Go into our belly flop. If you watch some of the high altitude tests or suborbital campaigns, we were able to test that. It was a pretty fundamental, like, can this thing actually fly? And we were able to prove that out with that suborbital campaign. And that,
The white on the nose cone is basically how the tiles look without the black
what we're
coating.
about to see.
I don't know how you can see that from the footage provided, Falcon. That's a hell of an assumption. Can you compare Mars's atmosphere with the beginning of Earth entry? Yes, pretty much. Yeah. Trans-Earth injection to Mars is pretty similar to a high-altitude, shallow, low Earth orbit re-entry trajectory. It's very similar. All I know is trying to land on Duna sucks. There's discoloration on the flap right there too.
And landing burn start.
Picture landing on Mars as being 100% complete with what this flight did. At what percentage do you think we're at? What? Hell, what kind of question is that? Could this thing go to Mars? Yeah, it'd probably make it. If you could figure out the boil off, if that's what you're asking.
Structurally, we're looking good. Got good pressures in our nose cone for everything. Just about 30 seconds. Again, we're going to look for the flip. So Starship's doing
there you
its
go,
belly
Foss.
flop
Nice.
right now. We're going to do the flip. Swing out. Let's punch through some clouds first.
How far do you think we are from being able to do it? I don't know. When's the next transfer window? The next transfer window. 20, so a year. 12 months.
Here we go.
This could get there if you could figure out the
Starship,
boil
landing
off.
burn start up.
Gonna need some power too, but
Seeing three
Look at this.
engines. There's our flip. There's a buoy. There's a splashdown.
Oh my
Fox, you were messing around with some maths, and heat fluxes were around 70 to 80 kilowatts per square meter, while Starship's is around 100 to 150. Yeah, Starship's a tank, dude. It can really tank way more heat. I mean, guys, with the shuttle, if you had burn through on the wings like that with the shuttle, that's game over.
Discovery, go and throttle up.
You're not coming back. This thing doesn't care. That's why I think it's cool. You know, it does not care. It's the next level. Like, dude, there's just a chunk missing. Whatever. No problem. Hey, B0, 56-month resub. Thank you. Yeah, Bob, it seems a lot more possible, doesn't it? Spicy Starship goes,
Structurally,
ooh,
we're
that
looking
tickles.
Good. Got good pressures in our nose cone.
I mean, it's not a problem once. Yeah, right. This is the COPV flying away. Yeah, one of those COPVs in the payload bay went
And we're
yeet.
going to look for the flip. So Starship's doing its belly flop right now. We're going to do the flip. Swing out. Let's punch through some clouds first.
I mean, Jackal, it's pretty good, right? Like, she's
Discovery,
pretty
go
good,
at throttle
man.
up.
Instant respawn. Thanks for the prime sub, dude. I appreciate you. The amount of damage STS-27 had was nowhere near this, what they did to Starship on purpose, and it nearly was a bad day. That's right. Crazy, right? How the heck did the shuttle guys maintain the structure? Aluminum sucks for short, hard loads and cracks. I mean, Sea Kraken, I'm not, dude, this is what I mean when I say the shuttle is pretty good for what it is. It's pretty damn good. Good, dude. Considering what you know, heating does to aluminum, it's pretty good. Yeah, Tusaman, yeah. How do they keep it intact? It's a good design, dude. That's how they keep it intact. The shuttle's design is designed to throw plasma, throw it away from the vehicle. That's how they kept the heating down. That's what the RCC is for. It just straight up just pushes it away. Like the shuttle's nose cone to a hypersonic reentry vehicle is what a bulbous bow is to an aircraft carrier. Same idea, only swap hydrodynamics for plasma. Nader, I was told that whatever blew up in the back was called a hard lesson learned, whatever that means. Something broke. My guess is solid oxygen accumulation in a purge line, but that's just a guess. I don't know. You didn't see anybody mention this, so I'm probably way off here, but did that Raptor in Space Relight look a little green to you? I don't know. Let me see. What I wouldn't give for Von Braun's opinion on Starship. He'd probably dig it. I don't know. Let me see it, Rocket Man. The relight is back here.
Demo gate, so we should be seeing it momentarily.
Relight demo startup. And shut down.
Demo gate, so we should be seeing it momentarily.
I'm looking at it, Rockman.
Relight demo startup. And shut down.
I think that might just be, it might just be the camera, dude. I mean, it's the aperture is having trouble adjusting. You see, once it adjusts for the exposure. I mean, it looks like it might be shining a little bit of green, but I think it's because the blue is mixing with whatever this is over here, the light from whatever that is. I do see some green though. I would say camera shenanigans more than anything, but at the end there.
All right, looks like
Interesting. Do you think we'll ever get battleship-sized rockets? Let's start with this right now. And go from there. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. Why didn't they use stainless steel for the shuttle? Lemon, that's a really easy thing to say in hindsight, dude. You guys got to remember, the space shuttle was a first attempt at a reusable vehicle. That was a first try of a reusable vehicle. It's pretty good for a first try. You know, and I think the design decision for SpaceX to use stainless really only could have existed in an environment where something like the shuttle existed prior, right? It's for mass constrictions. They thought aluminum would be the best one to do it. They'd make it like an airplane, right? Well, what else are you gonna make it out of? On paper, aluminum makes sense unless you have to maintain it. Yep, yep. You compare the relight with Flight 6. It looked about, I mean, if Terrence, from memory, it looked about the same. Yeah, Lemon, like, dude, that was state of the art at the time. That was the state of the art, dude. An amazing first reusable vehicle, but given the data on stainless, it seems like it would be the better call. Maybe with another SRB to counteract the mass losses. Lemon, I think you're making a classic engineering mistake of letting hindsight influence your judgment, dude. At the time, it seemed like a great idea, and I still think it's a good idea if you're going to design a vehicle that way. Starship's designed to do something a little bit different. I mean, I'm not going to say I don't want a stainless steel shuttle. That'd be pretty cool. Looked it up. Technically, the shuttles are ship of Theseus. After a flight, certain parts that exceeded hours of operation, they took out a structural part and replaced it. RPRC, I'm not sure what happened to that grid fin. That grid fin definitely did pop. It did something weird. Let's go backwards a little bit. I want to see the landing again.
Here we go.
Starship, landing burn, start up.
Kraken got the fin. I don't know. See, Orson, I don't know, dude, if that, like... I mean, they were testing a failure mode, right, for their... They were testing a failure mode for the booster. I don't know if they stuck that grid fin on purpose or if it broke. I have no idea. Like, if it broke, well, dang, dude. You know that the other grid fins can compensate, and it's really not a problem, right? Nor have we ever seen any super heavy grid fins break like that. I've never seen that happen before, right? And also, they were testing a failure mode, so maybe that was induced. It may have been on purpose. It's possible. I don't know. We'd have to ask. No, Hellfish, nothing. I only asked about the explosion. KPM, you're mostly blown away by the TWR on launch. This isn't the Saturn V. Slow and steady. This thing gets up and goes. Yep. Please tell me you've slept for at least 8 hours. I got enough sleep. Does that count?
Seeing 3 engines.
Other than a Pez dispenser and shuttle payload bay doors, what deployment systems do you want to see on Starship? Neutron fairings? No. No, I don't want neutron fairings. I think the chopper fairing on Starship makes no sense. How are you going to put payload in it? Shuttle payload bay doors are the best designed for vertically integrating payload into a vertically stacked vehicle. No, I've been very vocal about this for a long time. This is going to sound so screwed, no good, but what I would really like to see is a Starship with, I don't know, let's say a payload bay that's maybe like 9 meters long, maybe 10 meters long, right? And then a crew compartment in front of that, and then the header tanks up in the front. So a space shuttle, Starship styled Starship. So Shuttle 2.0. Essentially a Starship that has a payload bay and a crew complement as well. Hey, Lee Sweet, thank you for becoming a flight controller. Appreciate it. Didn't they show a single door shuttle style payload bay? The cargo starships have doors that open up like this. SpaceX has wanted like a chomper fairing. I don't like the chomper fairing is stupid. That's dumb. Like that is EJ saying no, that's a bad idea. But I don't know. Maybe the design's in flux all the time. Hey Lee, what's going on? Thank you very much for the Memby. Isn't Starship's nose cone experiencing the highest stress from plasma? Well, I have this footage from Space Engineer. Space Engineer did a speed up of the ship attitude. Space Engineer does 3D art and effects for Interstellar Gateway and Lab Padre. Check this out. I'll show you what's getting warm right here. Chomper is great if they want to make a small unicorn. So it's still in space right now. Just watch. So right now is basically when it got up to entry interface, right there. So, guys, re-entering like that, this is the hottest part right here, right where the curve starts. That's the hottest part. That is it's a tie probably between here and right there, which once again explains why the back of the flaps decided they didn't want to be there anymore. I'd say right here and right there is where it got the hottest. Now, pause that for a second and let's look at this thing. I want to see this thing when it comes down on buoy cam. So look. You could see right there, definitely got pretty toasty. I mean, we could see the tiles. Whatever's there didn't even... Whatever's there, do you see, like right there, right at the belly of the nose, right where all that white stuff is the hottest part. Right there. That's where it would have gotten the most toasty. How do I know for a fact? It really has to do with how hypersonics work, which is a little bit complicated, and I get a little bit of a headache right now. I will say, yeah, how plasma rolls through is very strange. And I know it's the curve because of how the air is coming at it, if that makes any sense. It's the curvy spot and right at the back. Now, why is the back getting super hot? Well, in this design, all around the rim back there and the edge of the flaps would get superbly hot because that's the right way to say it, guys. I'm not going to use the right terminology. I know I'm not. But the right way to say it is that some of the plasma is going down. When it hits, it gets forced downwards, right? And basically right at the area, right here, you're going to get flow sep, so the plasma is going to turn. And where it turns, in that momentary spot where it turns, it's going to get really close to the tiles. Like the plasma, the wave of plasma that you saw coming through re-entry. How close that is to a surface really denotes how hot it's going to get. Like if we go back into the re-entry where they showed a lot of entry interface right there. See that? That's what I'm talking about. See the flow? See what it's doing? If you look, the plasma is coming up. Now, right there, that wake, so to speak, is coming off the bottom of the ship. But you see how you have a wake here and you have a wake here, and it gets really, really bright down there because you do have these wakes. The plasma, because the thing's re-entering like this, the plasma's kind of getting forced down. Like, once again, I'm not using the right terminology. I know I'm not. But So you see it's superbly bright down there. And these areas right here, note that the plasma, even though the wing is moving it, right, it's not touching the wing. See how far away it is? But it gets really close right there around where the flap is. How close that plasma is to the surface really would denote how hot it gets. And because the front nose cone curve of Starship, right, where the nose cone starts to taper inward, because that's like out in front and it's changing the angle, right? And plasma doesn't really like to turn. You can kind of tell it likes to go straight. Like when you have plasma flow, it doesn't really like to change direction, right? The nose cone is really where you're gonna get the plasma kind of closest. That in the very back. I mean, once again, you can tell right there. You have a lot of plasma flowing down like flowing axial down the vehicle, right? And getting to the end and kind of dispersing off from the flaps right there. You see that? So it's all kind of... The other interesting thing about plasma is that kind of accumulates. Kind of stays there unless you have something to like kind of push it away. So it's going to accumulate down the bottom in a stagnation area. That does happen too. Like once again, if you know hypersonics, I am not the best at this. I know I can visualize how the plasma works, but I don't know the right words. Yeah, close, but I have to read more on hypersonics. But right there is really where it's going to get hot. Right there and right there because it changes shape. That's the right way to say it, I guess. Yeah, Bob, I don't know. I want to see this. Dude. Look at the point where they did the flippy flappies. Why does plasma look cool? Because it is. Dude, they S-turned that thing. Look at that. Those are straight up S-turns, dude. That's really cool, man.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Is it the hottest place because the plasma hit it at a straight angle? No, not necessarily. Do I explain this? All right, hold on. All right, here. Look, there's this old NACA, National Advisory Committee on Aeronautics, thing about like hypersonic shapes. Here, take a look. Look. So Starship, all right. Which one looks like Starship? That one kind of looks like Starship, but Starship doesn't re-enter like that. All right. Let me get my Starship. So if you're looking at Starship like this, we didn't see an entry like with the entry heating coming this way. It's obviously up like this, right? So which one is it? It's not capsule shaped. It's not missile nose cone. It's not the initial concept. All right, look. Starship's re-entering like this. We saw from their attitude indicator. Let me turn this and place it like that. Now, which one of these does it look like? Blunt body concept. See what I'm talking about? Now, remember what I said about see these dark lines right here? That's where the plasma is. You have a stagnation area in between them. It's basically where air gets super compressed, and that air gets super compressed and superheated, and when it gets superheated, it ionizes and it turns to plasma, and then it gets shot out the sides. These little these black lines, these expansion fans, right, are also little minor shocks of plasma going out from different areas. Now, remember what I said. Plasma doesn't like turning. So most of the plasma with Starship's design gets shot out to the side, right? But look at where it gets warm. See the armpit? This proverbial armpit of this. Look, you got plasma building up right there. Right around where your flap would be, right? Right. And because Starship doesn't re-enter perpendicular like this, it's re-entering like that. So instead of getting this shape, right? Instead of this shape, you're getting that shape. So what's going to get hot? Not really the nose cone, right here. That's where the plasma is going to be closest to, right? And then right there. Does that make sense? Like, once again, I got to go word better with this stuff, but that's the general idea. Their guidance systems are amazing, Paul. It got right to the buoy, dude, with cross range capability. But see what I'm talking about? So this is disrupted air, which is you can see this exact phenomenon in the footage, which is what makes this so cool. You can see the disrupted air. It's right over there.
There are obviously no
See it?
runways or other human.
The reason why it's disrupted is because of the vent, the purge lines. So it actually shows exactly what you see in that. This is called the Schlieren image, right? You can see the air disruption. If you turn this and lined it up and put it next to this Starship flight test footage, it's the same thing. Look.
To help
See?
us out.
Isn't that
So
cool?
we are doing propulsive landing instead of more traditional means such as parachutes. And propulsive landing enables us to have more rapid reusability.
Does that make sense, guys? Like, this is hypersonics, and hypersonics are difficult. And usually I can explain this better. I have a awful migraine, and I'm powering through it because I want to talk about Starship because it's damn freaking cool. So, like I said, when it's re-entering like this, the nose cone is going to get toasty, but right here, right there, where the curve is, that's going to get superbly freaking hot. The reason why this isn't going to get hot is because when plasma is going to get up against this, it might go up over the top a little bit, right? But it's mostly just going to go around because you're 90 degrees to your hypersonic flow. So it's just going to go around it, like in that Schlieren image. This part is going to get really freaking hot, right? Right in this area here. And I don't think that's any secret that SpaceX had a bunch of thermal protection system tests right here on the taper from the front of Starship, right? Now, with this design as well, down here, right where my fingers are, is going to get like really freaking hot. Because all that plasma, when you're coming in, all that plasma is going to get forced down. And a lot of it is going to go down and around, right? But some of it is going to get forced down and around down here, like that. And it's going to try to go up. It's going to try to go out to the sides, right into the armpit of the fin, which is why you're seeing burn through over there.
With these vehicles.
Yeah, the ship itself. It's
Would it be better for you to
little
turn on your main lights and talk to the BTS cam instead, boss? I don't know. I'm not watching my stream, Tessa. You tell me.
50 meters tall. We've got those 6
I don't
engines
know.
on board, the 3 vacuum.
Are you understanding the
the 3 sea
information
level,
conveyed?
and they're down in that
Starship
outskirt
85
region,
kilometers,
which
flaps half control.
I don't know. Maybe.
right, so at this point, the flaps have control. That means we're getting into a dense enough part of the atmosphere that the flaps can start controlling us. We're not only reliant on those kind of
for your
reactive
migrate. Don't
control
worry about
system
that.
Thrusters.
Don't worry about that. That's not any of your
We're going to
business.
continue hearing some call-outs as the ship makes its way back to Earth. So when we hear entry max heating and entry max Q,
Didn't that get hot in the same
will
place
mean
on the
ship
shuttle?
has made it through the maximum heating and aerodynamic.
Well, there's a reason why the shuttle had the body flap on it, Brandon, because the body flap is one of the things that's going to get the hottest. That's where you're getting, like, quite actually hypersonic flow separation, which is, yeah, that gets really warm. It's okay, Clayton. I said I'd pay for it. I'd pay for freaking streaming that much while I was sick, but it's okay. Don't worry about it. God, brothers, don't guys, don't worry about it. I'm getting annoyed because my brain can't find the right words. But yeah, hypersonics is super cool. The way plasma flows over a ship is almost like how a boat goes through water, but it's kind of happening in 3 dimensions, not like a flat plane of water with a boat skipping over it. But it kind of does work like that, but it kind of doesn't.
Loads it will experience as it returns. So if it makes it through those, we could say we're doing pretty well.
I know. From orbit autonomously, Blue. Isn't that
Will
cool?
say I'm happy re-entry cleaned off this camera for us. It was a little dirty from the weather, so thank you, Plasma.
Dragon has successfully splashed down 54 times. How many successful re-entries before Starship is crew rated? Let's get one back and then we'll talk.
For giving us this view as we start coming down.
In there, dude. Yeah, Lee, it happens, man. I'm getting frustrated with myself. What was your opinion on the explosion in the rear? Smoke, I said during my cast that something hit it. Nothing hit it. Something popped back there. I usually don't do this, but I asked one of my buddies that works at SpaceX. I asked about that, and all I got back, and the guy's cool with this. He's cool with this being said publicly. I'm not going to say who, what, where, when, or how. You know, I talked to a guy who might work on Starship, right? All I got back from the dude was, oh, that was a hard lesson learned, but don't worry, we got this. Won't happen again. And I'm like, okay, so take with that information what you see fit. It was Elon, wasn't it? So that tells me that nothing hit it. That tells me that something broke. And they're like, oh yeah, we probably should have fixed that. Oh well, won't happen again. Perfect timing for an ad? Oh no. I heard rumors that the next flight would go orbital. Seems highly unlikely to me. What do you think? You know, Lemon, I kind of agreed with you, dude. But chat kind of convinced me. I think they could do it. I don't think they've ever had any problems with the Raptor relight. I would want a little bit more data on firing a Raptor on orbit, to be 100% honest with you. But, yeah, I mean... Yeah, I'd want a little bit more data on it. Maybe save the orbital attempt for Block 3. But the space fan in me wants to see one of these fly over Starbase, flip and burn, and land out in the Gulf. So... No. Hard lesson learned tells me that they knew it would happen. Yeah. Does the current license allow for orbital flights? James, that's a very valid and pertinent question. I don't know, dude. How much extra could SpaceX learn from an orbital flight versus the current profile? Well, Bino, one, they could get the ship back to a point where they could actually, like, relatively quickly examine it. So that might have that might be better. Like, oh, I agree with you. Landed back in the USA. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. But I don't know. We'll see. Can you go back with the flip and burn? What's with the yaw? Due to flap damage, instability, winds, both? I don't know. Let's take a look.
Here we go.
Starship, landing burn, start up.
Seeing 3 engines. There's our flip.
I don't see any yaw going on here. What are you talking about? Do you think they're ever going to get permission to catch it at Starbase? They would have to fly over the country. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you'd have to fly over a country to land it anywhere. Just before engine ignition.
We're going to look for the flip. So Starship's doing its belly flop.
I think the
right
landing
now.
burn was
Do
late.
the
No,
flip.
Pratesh, it looks right. The landing
Swing
burn
out.
looks right to
Punch
me.
through some clouds first.
The Starlink boilerplate's re-entered.
Here we go.
Starship, landing burn, start up.
Oh, that erudite. Yeah, that probably was just a heading alignment, dude. That was definitely induced. That was definitely a thing.
Seeing 3 engines. There's our flip. There's a buoy.
Oh my God.
There's a splashdown.
Oh my God.
Dude. What's the white at the top of the heat shield and the orange on the bottom? Now, that's the $6 million question, Hermie. I have no freaking idea. We've speculated that that is the iron oxide deposits from the metal tiles that ablated off. Why was video so delayed in this flight? I don't know, dude. As an Australian, I give permission to land Starship in northwestern Australia. There's bugger all out there. They should do that. They should land one on land. Paul, that would be really cool. You think they have a 360 cam on that buoy to get a full landing video? Yes, absolutely, Pelly Joe. Yeah, that's my guess, right? Solo, well, since Boeing isn't building a competing project and SpaceX isn't a foreign country, do you think you'd have to worry about the supersonic over land ban that was basically just to keep the Concorde stuff as less profitable as possible to protect Boeing's potential competitive plane? Solo, so fun fact, that the rules on supersonics got rewritten very recently. Yeah, there's no more supersonic ban. No, I'm not kidding. The guy that works for Boom Supersonic, Blake Scholl, the CEO, he went to the White House and he started talking to the president about this stuff. No joke. Yeah, and the president said, "Yeah, screw that. Screw that thing. That's dumb." I'm serious. That happened. It was I don't know, like 2 or 3 months ago. It was right around the time the XB1 was doing testing solo. But yeah, I don't know. That's just the US. Like, I don't know if that pertains to Mexico or not. I have no idea. Didn't he figure out a way to get rid of the sonic boom? No. In the higher speed areas of the transonic regime, your supersonic bow shock, which is basically what makes the sonic boom, actually doesn't reach the ground at a certain altitude. Yeah. If you're going Mach 2, it'll reach the ground. But if you're going like Mach 1.05, which is not supersonic, that's transonic, you won't make a sonic boom. At least it won't be audible from the ground. The baby boom plane, the XB1 is what it's called, Yogbin. Who would make a tile out of iron? Well, James, I thought it sounded really stupid too, but also at the same time, there's an interview with Boom's founder. He's kooky. Yeah, he's he's got a little bit of that, Steve Jobs, I want to be eccentric, but I might not be thing going on. Bill, my guess is it's from the tiles, dude. I went into the stream not knowing for sure, but this picture off of I'm not sure who made this picture, but here's a picture of the thing landed, like in the landing footage, right, versus it sitting on the pad, right, and the shapes pretty much exactly match. So the tile ablation, I think, is what caused the orange, but it still is wild. I'll admit, dude, I've never seen anything like that. I mean, either way, you know, if the guy's gonna make RE like Boom Supersonic and Blake Scholl, like if he's gonna make supersonic planes, again, I guess I don't really have a problem with the dude. That's pretty cool. Maybe it tastes like Cheetos. Maybe it tastes like rust. SpaceX did give us a recap, guys. Hold on. I think I teed it up. Yeah, here. Starship's 10th flight test lifted off on August 26, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. Starbase. Taking
This is space.
Oh
I'm
my
in
God.
space.
Taking a significant step forward in developing the world's first fully reusable launch vehicle. Every major objective was met, providing critical data to inform designs on the next generation of Starship and Super Heavy. All right, Strange and Scary. See you, buddy. Hope your head feels better. Yeah, I won't go for much longer, but yeah, it's good little space news stream. Flight test began with Super Heavy successfully lifting off by igniting all 33 Raptor engines and ascending over the Gulf of America. Successful ascent was followed by a hot staging maneuver, with Starship's upper stage igniting its 6 Raptor engines to separate from Super Heavy and continue the flight into space. Following stage separation, Super Heavy booster completed its boost back burn and put it on a course to a pre-planned splashdown zone. The booster descended and successfully initiated its landing burn, intentionally disabling one of its 3 center engines during the final phase of the burn and using a backup engine from the middle ring of engines. Super Heavy entered into a final hover above the water before shutting down its engines and splashing down. Starship completed a full duration ascent burn and achieved its planned velocity, successfully putting it on a suborbital trajectory. The first in-space objective was then completed with 8 Starlink simulators deployed in the first successful payload demonstration from Starship. Vehicle then completed the second ever in-space relight of a Raptor engine, demonstrating a key capability for future deorbit burns. Moving into the critical re-entry phase, Starship was able to gather data on performance of its heat shield and structure, as it was intentionally stressed to push the envelope on the vehicle's capabilities. Using its 4 flaps for control, the spacecraft arrived at a splashdown point in the Indian Ocean, successfully executed a landing flip, and completed the flight test with a landing burn and soft splashdown. Over the course of the flight test campaign, success will continue to be measured by what we are able to learn. And Starship's 10th flight test provided valuable data by stressing the limits of the vehicle capabilities and providing maximum excitement along the way. Cool. All right, not much of substance in there, to be honest, but it was still awesome. Either way, guys, love the analysis. Someone doing real tech details. Yeah, Lee. I mean, there are other folks doing it, but yeah, I like diving in. I'm usually better at this, dude. Like when explaining hypersonics and stuff, I'm usually way better. But hey, I've been sick this whole freaking week, dude. Either way, this is pretty awesome. Also, somebody stabilized the buoy cam. It did the thing. So now that they've done booster catch, demoed sat deploy, Starship flip and burn landing, they've done everything but full orbit and ship catch. What do you think they'll do next? Chat kind of sold me on it, Hired. I think the next one's going to orbit, and I think the next one's going to deploy a real Starlink V3. I think that's what's going to happen. For the orange spread from the steel tiles be intentional to validate plasma flow sims. Maybe? Entropy? There's better ways to do that, like the cameras, like on the vehicle, but maybe. It's possible. Anyway, we have until Flight 11 to talk about Flight 10. Just don't stress yourself. Yeah, I'll be fine. You show Rocket Lab's Archimedes testing video. I actually didn't. What do we got going on here?
Archimedes is an aux-rich stage combustion engine. There are 9 of them on stage 1. The stage 1 engine is capable
I hope so, Sea Kraken.
of 5,000 pounds of thrust, and on stage 2, it's capable of 200,000 pounds of thrust.
You go from essentially standstill to 100% throttle in a second. And you've got valves opening and closing, gases purging, ignition sources opening and closing.
Amelia,
The pump goes
please
from
stop.
0 to just under 30,000 within that roughly 1 second period.
Music's gonna gank the YouTube vid. Oh, yeah. Oh, hello. I think they're going to jerry-rig it for Flight 11 again, Smoke. Look at that, dude. Quite a time. Starship getting closer. New Glenn actually acting like a potential competitor, and new stuff from Rocket Lab. Yep. Hello. What is the reason why Starship exploded at the very end? Is it intentional or because it was carrying fuel? Yeah. Agent Orange, what you most likely saw was the header tanks. So in the very front of Starship, dude, like up here, there's 2 spheres. One is right here and one is like right behind it. It kind of, if you looked at it from the side, it looks kind of like an 8, like the number 8. Just 2 tanks on top of each other. Those are called header tanks. And those tanks carry the fuel for the engines for the landing burn, right? So when Starship did land, now I know what you're going to say. There was some fuel there was some fuel left over. And I know what the next question is. Why would they? Don't you not want fuel in the tanks when you land? You never want to run a rocket engine dry. You never want it to drain the fuel tanks completely. That's a great way to get it to explode. So there's always going to be a little bit of extra fuel left over, right? When Starship splashed down, it splashed down like this and basically slammed the header tanks into the water, and they blew up. They exploded. Yeah. The main tanks probably are still fine, if I had to guess. If I had to guess, when this thing popped, it probably blew the front of Starship off. And I'll bet you the tankage and the Raptors are probably okay. But, I mean, who knows what they're going to do with those. But, yeah, good question. Good question. Are we talking about why it was orange? Shadow Mask, I think it was because of the iron, like metal tiles that they were using. But, honestly, I've never seen nothing like that before, dude. Never seen nothing like that before in all of my years covering spaceflight. That was pretty damn cool. It was definitely a thermal protection system test, whatever it is. Thank you for the very clear explanation. Yeah, you're talking about, so just to be sure, Orange, you're talking about like right here. So the header tanks are right there. They're right up at the top. So consider where this thing comes down, right? You see it fall over, right? The header tanks would be right here. See where the explosion came from? That definitely came from the nose. And we know that it's the nose and the payload bay because some of the COPVs get shot out here. There are not air tanks, there are nitrogen tanks in the payload bay. And some of them decided to leave the chat very quickly. Watch. Over here, it shoots out like a bullet. You see, there they are right there. 1, 2, 3, and there was 2 more that flew off the screen. So those things right there are those things. See those tanks right there? Those are the exact tanks. We actually got to see them. And Agent Orange, in Starship's design, take a look. There's your fuel and oxidizer lines going up to those header tanks that I was telling you about. Now, you really want a technical explanation. Why header tanks up there? Why put the fuel up in the nose? During re-entry, it's serving as ballast, so the thing flies correctly. If you had all your mass down at the bottom, your flaps at the back would be doing all the work, and your flaps up front wouldn't do anything. The thing would just want to fly butt first. It would want to fly engines first, like super heavy. You don't want that, right? Because the piles aren't on the bottom, they're on the side. So they have those tanks forward to make it so Starship's center of gravity is more or less in between the flappy wings, right? And the second part of that is that those tanks have their pickups, right? So where those pipes go into the tanks are actually on the side of the tank. So you see the lines, right? Those lines are going up the side of Starship's payload bay. That's the bottom. The tiles are on the other side of that metal over there. We know because the payload bay door is over here. And we know that the payload bay door is on this side. So the pipes are right here and they go up. And they go this way and they actually turn and they feed into the tanks this way. They feed into the tanks sideways. Now, why? Why would you do that? Well, that's so when Starship is flying like this, right? Gravity will push fluid down into those pipes over there, and you can start the engines to flip and burn. That's why. Actually, the pickups are kind of 45 degrees. They're kind of more like this. Like you could see how it goes in by the pipe up there kind of curving. They're not like perfect, but they need to you need to be able to feed into the engines correctly. If your pickup was like this, when you're flying like that, you're not going to be able to feed fuel into it. All the fluids will go to this part of the tank, not where the pickup is. That's why. That's why there was still fuel in the front of the thing and why the front of the thing exploded when it hit the water. What I'm trying to tell you is that the front fell off. Don't worry, it's been removed from the environment. But aren't there going to be astronauts in the area where the tanks are? Depends on the variant. Depends on the variant of Starship. You could install a bulkhead there. The tanks aren't taking up too much space, dude. They're only taking up they're only taking up pretty much like maybe a quarter of the front of that nose cone. Believe me, there's plenty of habitable space there. And I know what you're gonna say. Like they're riding next to the fuel tank. Isn't that bad? We did that with the shuttle. The space shuttle has its forward thruster block right in front of the crew compartment. There's a huge bulkhead to separate them. There's a huge aluminum wall, like a firewall on a car. But yeah, it's not unfounded. That's definitely a thing. How did they get the data they need from the tiles? Good instrumentation and good telemetry. They have other ways to... There are other ways to... Why are you guys doing this? Did you see the tweet from SpaceX where they had a render with shuttle payload bay doors? I did. Yeah, yep. Yep. Super Draco's on Dragon. Yeah, that's a good point. I sent you how to turn them off. Yeah, like I've done that in the time that between now and the last stream, and man, all I've done between this stream and the last one is sleep and drive Ernok to the airport. That's it. You can ask Bree. Slacker. Man. Listen, I didn't know if you read it or not. Did I not reply to you, dude? Well, that one's on me then. That. Yep. Yep. I guess you reacted to it, but I never looked back at it. All right, I'll meet you in the middle. You think SpaceX will catch Booster 15 to say they have done it 2 times in a row? Trey, my gut is telling me they're going to expend it. Thanks for the bits, Gaw. My gut is telling me they're going to expend it. My heart wants them to catch it twice. That's the Booster 15 is.
Oh, this is space. I'm in space.
I saw that booster land. I saw Booster 15 land. It was Flight 8, right? 14 was Flight 7. Shirley Rocks, give this sub to Agent Orange. Right on. Paul, love your work. I gotta go and be an adult. I hope you and the doggo get better fast. Thanks, man. Thanks for thinking of Titan. That means a lot to me. Thank you. All right, guys. This was fun. I hope you guys enjoyed my headache-induced analysis. We'll talk about it more for Space News tomorrow. Dudes, I'm going to take it easy the rest of this week, if you don't mind. It has been a nutty couple of weeks for me. I'm going to take it easy. But come next Monday, we're getting back to our regular schedule, okay? Yeah, regular schedule starts on Monday. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed the Flight 10 analysis. Flight 11, I think, is going to happen sooner rather than later, okay? Monday is a holiday, and you know it. It's Labor Day. I'll be here. Don't worry. Just Space News tomorrow? Yeah. I'm just going to do Space News tomorrow and go from there. But, okay, so here's the thing. I think I'm finally kind of ready to do that whole schedule thing again. So that means on Monday, we're going to get KSP, Space News, and Cities. We haven't tested Cities 1 yet with the new computer, and we're going to do that. Okay? Or we could do, like, Kerbal. We could do Cities on Monday, and then Space News, and then Kerbal on Tuesday with Space News. I mean, I don't know. We'll think about it. Let's we'll get back to it. But either way, we're gonna get back to the regular schedule. That means car stream, Cities, Kerbal, stuff like that. I'm gonna go lie down. Stationeers check in. Oh yeah, we got to do that too, huh? Maybe we'll do that tomorrow after Space News. Okay. Actually, I think that's what I will do tomorrow after Space News. We'll do Space News tomorrow, and then we'll play some Stationeers after that. Okay. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys all at 5 tomorrow. I hope everybody has a good night. I'm going to go to bed. Good night. Thank you for watching.